Okay, we are back with State Representative candidate Tammy, is it Roesch?
Roesch.
Roesch. Okay.
Anything close.
Anything close. And Tammy, you are running for State Representative 99th District.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a resident of Ashtabula County for 23 years. My husband and I have raised 5 children here. We have started 2 successful businesses from the ground up, and the first one was Roesch's Natural Foods in Saybrook. We had that for 10 years. We sold it in 2005. And then we started our business that we have now. It's another health business, mail order business, that we ship from our home all kinds of health products.
Really?
And I'm a master herbalist, and so I talk to a lot of people on how to get well and stay well and get away from drugs and all that kind of thing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you believe in herbs as,
I do.
As a health
Right.
benefit.
Yep. I believe that lifestyle has a lot to do with people's health, and most health problems, if they change their eating habits and their lifestyle, most of the problems will take care of themselves.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Very interesting. And where's that business located? It's in your house.
Right. It's 5464 State Road, Kingsville.
Okay. So you are from Kingsville.
We are from Kingsville, and anybody's welcome to come anytime. You better call first because I'm not always there. We are closed on Saturdays, so we don't really have store hours, but people come out there all the time. So just call before you come.
I'll be darned. And it's mail order.
Mail order. We ship all over the world. We actually do more business now from our home than we did in the 10 years we had our health food store in Saybrook. Okay. And we were very busy then. But you know how it is with the internet. It's like you're serving the whole world.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's really amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What got you interested in going into politics?
Oh, I never dreamed I would do this, Pat. But I don't like paying taxes, and when the Tea Party call came in 2009, that Rick Santelli guy, my husband saw it online, and he said, hey, check this out. There's a Tea Party in Cleveland. I said, well, let's go. So the next day, we went to Cleveland, the very first Tea Party Cleveland had. And it was wonderful. There was about 100 people there. It was snowy and rainy, and it was a nasty day. But I could see that people were upset. Something had to change in the country. And so that was in February of 2009. And a couple weeks later, American Family Association put out a call for everybody across the United States to jump up and have tea parties. And so we said, well, you know, what are we going to do here? We didn't know of anybody in the area doing anything, so I called the paper and I said, I think we need to announce that there'll be a tea party at the courthouse in Jefferson, April 15th.
Of this year?
Of 2009.
2009, okay.
Yeah, and so they said, well, who's running it? And I said, well, I don't know. I guess I will, because in Cleveland, it wasn't anybody running it. Everybody just kind of stood up and did their own thing, you know, and so I didn't have an example to follow, but I said, well, I guess somebody has to take charge, we'll take charge. So we did, and we had 800 people on April 15th.
I kind of remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was a great turnout, and it was a rotten day. The weather was terrible.
Yeah, I kind of remember
really
that.
nasty, but people were fired up. And from there, we had 2 more tea parties in the county. Then I held a tea party in Burton Fairgrounds. We had 2,000 people come out for that event.
Were you involved in the one that was in Andover?
No, I was not with the Andover one. No.
Okay. That was the controversial one where they weren't going to let them do it in public square.
Yeah. I think they won one part of their thing there, though.
Yeah,
so
they did.
It made a lot of news, but I think it was on a Saturday, and that's why I wasn't there. But anyways, then we had another great big one in Cleveland. We held one in Cleveland this past year, and so we've had them around the country. And I still had no intention of getting into this, but the reason I did was that there was so much. Well, right before the primary, for the Republican primary, there was 5 Republicans running, 3 young kids and 2 pastors. And the one pastor, Teresiak, started a horrendous rumor on the other pastor. And I was just, it was terrible. And so I said, you know, this is politics as usual. I can't be a part of this party at all. And so I said, you know, I kept hoping that somebody would step up and run as an independent, but everybody said, you can't make it as an independent. You got to have a ton of money. It's impossible. And nobody stepped up, and I knew I couldn't be part of either party, so I had no choice. I said, let
me interrupt you a second.
Sure.
So you originally were a Republican.
I have been a Republican all my life.
Okay.
But then when this happened in the Republican Party, I could see that politics were the same as they've always been, politics as usual, and I couldn't be a part of that. And so I said, if nobody's going to step up and run as an independent, I'll do it myself, and we'll see what happens. And we're not rich. It's just, you know, my husband and I and our business, and we've had to fund this whole thing ourselves. We have had a few donations come in, smaller donations, one $500 donation. That was our biggest donation. But I'll have $10,000 into this campaign, but I mean, you know, it's worth it. I have to try. And I have had so many people from both sides, Democrats, say, you know, I've been a Democrat all my life and I am so upset. I'm not voting Democrat, but I could never vote for the Republicans, but I'll vote for you. And I've had Republicans say, I can't believe how this is running. I'm not going that way. I'm going you too. So, and have you looked at the numbers lately, Pat?
As far as?
How many voters there are in the county?
Yes, I have.
There's 65,000 voters. 20,000 are Democrat, 10,000 are Republican, and 35,000 are independents.
Yeah.
There's more independents in this county than there are Republicans and Democrats put together.
That is, those figures are astounding to me because in the old days, the independents was the little guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so you know what the lie is now? The parties are telling the people, you're throwing away your vote if you go for an independent. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. It's them guys that are splitting the vote, because I have more people than both of them put together. You know, it's pretty amazing.
What can you do, Tammy? Get elected. What can you do to make things better?
Well, being a business owner, I think that there are so many regulations that the state has that just kill businesses. For instance, I have a mail order business, and the health food store that we sold back in 2000 actually went out of business. Probably about 6 months ago, the bank foreclosed on them. So right now, there are no health food stores in this county. I would love to put a health food store on the front of my property where people could come, and it would be a small one. You know, we're in the country. The road turns to dirt road right after our house, a couple miles past our house. Well, I contacted the county about it, and they said, well, if you do that, you're going to have to put in a septic system, you know, $25,000 EPA-approved septic system. It's ridiculous. We live out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, and it's these kind of rules and regulations that are killing businesses. I can't do that. So what? I don't have a business. How many other businesses are there like me that could employ more people if we didn't have all this red tape? Mm-hmm. And so I'm out to try to get government as much out of our lives as I possibly can. I'm going to vote.
You got to remember now, you only one vote.
No, I'm only one vote, but I know that people around the country, around the state of Ohio, are thinking like I am. And the other people that are going to be going in, actually there are 5 other independents, is what I've heard, from the 99 districts that are trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do. So maybe there might be, hopefully, a couple of us, maybe we'll all make it. Maybe people are really fed up. Let's see.
Right.
You know, but there's enough people in this country that are fed up that if the people that are going to be there, if they want to stay there, they better do the right thing, because they'll get voted out the next time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm not voting for any more tax raises. I think we have way too many taxes. We're paying way too much. I'm going to vote against all tax raises, tax hikes, and try to lower the taxes that we have. Okay. And make the government smaller. I think we need to get, you know, the government wastes so much money.
How would you do that?
Well, the government wastes so much money, tons of money. Like, did you see on Interstate 90, they went and replaced all of those green signs. Mm-hmm. The new ones don't look any different than the old ones. But we paid tons of money. I think it was like $10,000 to $12,000 for each sign. Why? Probably what I heard was it was stimulus money. And they didn't even put it out to a contract. They just gave it to the good buddies, I guess. Mm. You know, I think that's wrong. We need to. There's so many things that we could do better with our money. We need more cops around here. You know, our county. I mean, there's so many things that we actually need. Yeah. You know, and I think things are big time that we need to do differently. Now. The Republican Party, a couple days ago, they sent this little email out telling everybody that that across the nation, Democrats are supporting independence. And they're implying that the Democrat Party is behind me. Well, this couldn't be further from the truth. My name is not in here, but Casey Kozlowski is the Republican that I'm running against. And this is all about him. And he says, does this sound familiar? Democrats back third parties to siphon votes. So they're trying to plant the seed in people's mind that the Democrats are behind me. That could not be further from the truth. Democrats are not behind Tea parties.
No.
Right. You know what I mean? And so, you know, they're just not being honest. They're doing what normal politics do, and that's why I don't like it. I think it's time to vote them all out.
Well, you certainly got, for a little girl, you got quite a stand there.
I'm angry. I tell you what, though, if we don't do something about this, there is going to be more trouble than ever in this country. I see racial troubles everywhere. I mean, there's the divide between, you know, every class is becoming clearer and clearer. Nobody's trying to unify things. Mm-hmm. And that's why, and running as an independent, I am getting people on both sides that say, look, let's throw this business out. Let's get back on track and do the right thing.
Have you had quite a few people come forward and support you that way?
I have. Actually, I've got an ad coming out here very soon with Democrat and Republican on the ad. Both of them saying, I'm a Democrat, I'm voting for Tammy. I'm a Republican, I'm voting for Tammy.
Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
You know, both of these people say, and these people have been lifelong in their party, all their life, never voted out of their party.
What if this, because it's tough for a young person coming out, a rookie, as you will, if you will, to run for an office like this. If you should lose, would you consider staying with this and trying another run?
Boy, this is my thoughts right now, and I don't know. Things sometimes can change that
absolutely.
way. But right now, Pat, I don't know if God really wants me to do this. I really don't know. So every day, my husband and I, we pray, Lord, if this is not your will, shut the door. If it is your will, bless it. Because if it's not his will, I don't want to be there. And honestly, I don't think politics has the answer to the mess that this country's in. Mm-hmm. I think that the real answer is God and religion. But unfortunately, as time goes on, our country gets further and further away from God. You know, abortion is a huge issue, and you know, I'm very, very pro-life. I'm very strong on the family. As I knock on doors, and I'm knocking on doors every night.
I was going to ask you that.
Every night I'm knocking on doors, and the other day I met this guy, knocked on the door, gave him my little brochure here, and he looks at it real quick and turns my business card over, and he says, well, what do you think about gay marriage? And I said, well, I take the Bible stand. I don't believe in that. And he said, well, I'm really sorry. I'm an ordained pastor of so-and-so church, and I'm a homosexual. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I don't think you'll be voting for me. You know, I mean, here we are. You know, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for these things, and our churches are ordaining them. We are marching. You know, the paths are not together. And the further we go down the road from God, the more trouble we're going to have. And so I see that, you know, what we really need for people to do is get back to God and the Bible, not to push religion from the government. I think that we need to keep church and state separate, but we do need to encourage good morals in people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And our founding fathers, they loved the Bible. They would never have imagined the way things are now. The welfare state. I'm so sick of the second, third, and fourth generation welfare. This is for the birds. The Bible says you don't work, you don't eat. I believe in that. You know? I mean, it's really terrible. This is the way people make a living today. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the way it should be.
Now I've seen one interview that you did with was it Kathy Pape at the library or at the Villa?
The Villa,
yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I just saw it the other day.
Did you? I want a copy of it.
And you did a nice job. You did a real nice job there.
Thank you.
I never had any clue. I had no clue really knowing that much about you. I did see some of your ads. I think especially in the Progress tab.
Yes, yes. We put 10 of them in there because they were so cheap.
They were all over the place. Yeah, I saw that.
They can't miss us, you know?
Which was a good marketing tool.
Yeah.
Which was a good marketing tool. But it's kind of refreshing to have somebody come out and have the thoughts that you have, you know.
Yeah, but you know, really, both parties are almost headed the same direction. One's on a plane and one's on a train, and you know that's something that Glenn Beck said. But I don't think he would be upset with me saying that. And I don't listen to Glenn Beck every day, and I don't agree with everything he says. But it's true. We are headed the same direction in both parties. One's getting there a little bit faster than the other. Both of them are so politically correct. They're afraid to step on toes. They're so afraid to say the right thing. And the people aren't thinking like that. The people are upset. They want to know what is the right, what is the wrong, and everybody wants to ride the fence, ride the middle of the road, and I'm tired of that.
Now, last question for you. You got quite a ride down to Columbus. If you should win, that would take you away from your business a little bit.
I already got that taken care of.
You got it figured out?
Yeah. We've got some help there that if we make it, they need some work, and I need a helper. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I want to wish you luck, Tammy.
Thank you.
And it's very nice talking to you. Very refreshing.